Mr. Chairman, thank you. Thank you for hosting this hearing, you and the ranking member. When you introduced Ms. George, you introduced her as the President and CEO of the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas, and I appreciate your thriftiness in choice of words. And I also would like to pay tribute to Ms. Baer, a highly respected Kansan, a native, and who is highly regarded. She had the benefit of working for a highly regarded senator, and I appreciate your work throughout your life. Let me start with Ms. George. Generally, I would say in Kansas, this proposal is popular with Kansas bankers. The interoperability is important in addition to prompt payment. And I want to see if you can assure me that whether a bank chooses FedNow or the RTP system to provide those faster payments, that their business will flow to any institution in either network. Today, both institutions run retail and wholesale payment services that are inoperable. Is the Fed committed and confident that it'll be able to continue the same with these faster payments?
Senator Moran, having interoperability will be a desirable outcome of this effort. We are focused on gaining nationwide reach. We think it's important that every financial institution gain access to real-time payment services. And then we can begin, as we design this system, to look at what the nature of interoperability will be. We are out now for comment, asking for features and design, and we'll be including interoperability and getting feedback on how that would work today relative to how it works with our other payment services.
Mr. Hunter, how do you see this issue?
Thank you, Senator. I appreciate the question. We do not envision that the systems will be interoperable. Real-time payments are fundamentally different in terms of how they work than the ACH or the wire transfer system. And if you look at Europe, for example, where the central bank came out with its own real-time payment system, it is not interoperable with TIPS, which is the private sector's real-time payment system. In real-time payment system, clearing, which is the transmission of the payment message, happens alongside settlement. They are not bifurcated at all. They happen at the same time and they happen instantaneously. So from the time I hit send to send you money, Senator Moran, to the time that money is in your account and you've got access to it is literally milliseconds. Because of that architecture, which is architected in the way that the Federal Reserve's Faster Payments Task Force sort of set out the criteria, it wanted a real-time payment system, you can't bifurcate those processes. So it's not like the ACH, which is interoperable for transmission of the message only, but settlement happens at a later time. Because clearing and settlement, transmission of the message, and final payment happen immediately, those two things aren't separated. And you can't interoperate in that regard. Both the sending bank and the receiving bank have to be on the same system. They have to be able to talk to each other instantaneously, and they have to work in such a way that those funds are transferred and available immediately. So we are not optimistic that these two systems will be interoperable.
Thank you for your comments. Again, Ms. George, Mr. Seljan's comments about holidays, weekends, and 24/7 caught my attention. What is the Fed response in that regard?
So a real-time payment system will be operating 24/7/365, and that will include holidays and weekends. The question that Mr. Seljan raised is one of how expanding hours for funds transfer might facilitate the private sector service in providing real-time payments. Because that is a systemically important system, we will have to look and do the operational analysis on what it means to provide that kind of real-time expanded hours. And we have committed to do that in the public notice that we've put out to see what issues that raises, recognizing that there would be benefits to the private solution.
Mr. Hunter, let me return to you quickly. I think the RTP system has been up and running for about 1.5 years. What benefits are consumers and businesses seeing as a result of that, and what can we expect in the future those benefits to then be?
Thank you, Senator. Let me start with consumers first and then go to businesses. For consumers, it really fundamentally is a safer, more efficient way to make payments. From the sender's side, they can get immediate confirmation that the recipient of that payment actually has the funds. So think about if you're paying your power bill and you're late and you want to make sure that payment gets there today, you've got immediate confirmation that you've been able to do so. We also have extensive rules in place so that consumers who use alias, so if you type in a phone number or you're using a directory of some kind, the consumer gets confirmation of the real name. So if somebody types in or fat fingers my email address, they're going to get a message back that says, did you want to send that payment to Rob Smith? It's, well, no, I didn't. So, very, very important in terms of folks who are being paid and have to go to payday lenders or check cashing services. If their employers are using the RTP system to make payment, they'll have immediate access to those funds. They won't have to go to those services anymore. On the business side, also incredibly transformational. They can get payments into the hands of a supplier, for example, for real-time inventory. They don't have to rely on credit anymore, and that supplier can ship those goods with confidence that they've been paid. They can attach just about anything that you can send over the internet, an invoice, a picture showing that work's been done. So if you're a plumber and you want to convince your customer that, hey, I've installed this faucet and it works, here's the video, here's the photo. If you attach the invoice to what's called a request for payment, you can automatically associate that payment with the invoice, and you don't have to do reconciliation on the back end.
Thank you. My time's expired. I will ask some other witnesses questions for the record. And I, too, need to join the ranking member in a Veterans Committee. But I'll try to return, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.